which 900 crore was put in by the investor, they were able to get out of the corporate debt restructuring because there was a 350 crore payable by the subsidiary to the parent. So that money was used to repay the debt, and that helped Escomar Nationwide to actually get out of the corporate debt restructuring. Now, if we were to look at it, why would someone do a demerger or slump sale? One of the reasons could be actually to de-risk the business model, or ensure that there is no hit on the financials on account of a cost center which is residing in the company. Just going with that case study. So if you were to look at Sun Pharma essentially a pharmaceutical company, as we all know, but is also engaged, or rather was also engaged in hardcore research, which is the new chemical entity, where essentially it takes almost 10 to 15 years for a drug to commercialize till the time it hits the market. Now that new chemical entity was essentially a drag on the financials, more from an EPS perspective, etc., because there was a significant amount of investments which Sun Pharma had to make to run the drug discovery program. So what Sun Pharma actually did was it demerged the R&D division into a separate listed company. And when it planned for the whole demerger, along with that it also pushed a cash of 200 crore to ensure that it can service itself for another 3 years. And now, if you would have read a couple of weeks back, they've actually announced a right issue to ensure that they keep the pipeline going and increase servicing the cost for the R&D function. Again, if you want to look at it from a impact on market cap perspective, by the time the first announcement came, the market cap was almost 14 to 15,000 crore. By the time the last trading day of the consolidated entity, it was 19,000 crore. And when Spark, which is the research company, got listed, the combined market cap actually had almost a 10 to 15% enhancement. And since then, obviously, the business has also been performing significantly well as far as the pharma business is concerned. So you would have seen almost 3 times jump in the market cap from 20,000 crore to almost 55,000 crore. Whereas if you see at the Spark level, which is the research entity, the market cap hasn't really moved much, largely from the perspective that it still hasn't come out with any blockbuster drug, which are still in the process of development. So this was more to do with de-risking the business model as well as from a financial perspective. Just going further on that. So just going back in terms of another reason why someone would actually look at a restructuring in the form of a demerger or slump sale would be to segregate the loss-making businesses. A classic recent case is in the case of Alembic, where they have actually announced, or rather they just completed the demerger of the pharma business. So Alembic was essentially involved in the general pharma business, which is the APIs. It was also into penicillin G, and they had a significant amount of land bank which was sitting in the parent company. They left the land and the power assets as well as the PenG, which was a drag on the business, actually in the main company, the existing listed company. And the idea is to essentially utilize this land bank, develop the real estate, and try and repay the debt, and infuse whatever money they can for the pharma business. So if you were to just look at from a balance sheet perspective, the consolidated turnover was around 1,200 crore. And on an EBIT margin, if you were to see, there was a 4% EBIT margin. However, when we were to segregate the financials, you would see that actually the pharma business has a far higher margin. But from a market perspective, when a consolidated financials was presented, it wasn't getting the right kind of multiple, which ideally it should have gotten as a pharma company. So if you see on the right hand side, the EBITDA margin for the core pharma business is actually 7.5% to 8%, which has grown to around 10% in the current financial year. Just going further on, why would someone do a demerger or slump sale? You would see a classic case again a couple of days back for Wockhardt, which got trapped into on account of significant leveraging on account of acquisitions which they did in the past, as well as some mark-to-market losses which they had on account of the derivatives which they entered into. So just getting into that. So if you were to look at it from a Wockhardt perspective, promoter owns 74% and the public owns 26%. Wockhardt has grown through acquisitions in last 3 or 4 years prior to the global turmoil in 2007 and 8. What they did was they actually sold off a couple of their businesses to ensure that they come out of the debt trap and they focus on their core business. So the first business which they sold was the animal health division to Veticanol of France, which was I think a year and a half back. They tried selling their nutrition division last year to Abbott, which didn't go through. Maybe better for them from the perspective that they have been able to capture almost twice the value when they sold to Danone a couple of days back. Now with this money they intend to repay a part of the debt and focus on their core business, which is the pharma business. So again, just going from a market cap analysis perspective, by the time the first announcement came for Veticanol divestment, the market cap was 1,000 odd crore. Post the sale of animal health, it went up to 1,600 crores. And on announcement of sale of the nutrition division, which was I think a couple of days back, the market cap is almost 5,000 crores. So if one were to just see the trend or the graph, it's actually going up because they are now going to focus only on their core business, which is doing phenomenally well. Whilst normally the general understanding or the intent is that any restructuring or demerger that you do should create value. Not necessarily all of them might create value, and I have some exceptions to that which I have tried to capture to just try and see if we can make some sense out of it. So if you want to look at it from a Piramal Healthcare perspective, they divested their main business, which was the pharmaceutical business, to Abbott around a year back now. And this business was sold off for around 16,000 odd crores to Abbott. Now, post this, Piramal really didn't have any significant or a sizable business. They were sitting on a huge chunk of cash post-tax of almost around 10 to 12,000 crore. They have just announced entry into the financial services space, and they continue to do the CRAMS and the fine chemicals and other businesses. So if one were to look at as an impact from a market cap perspective, on the day of announcement of slump sale, it was actually 10,500 crore. And as on date, which is, or rather as on December 24, 2010, if you were to just look at it, the market cap is almost 8,000 crore. Whereas the company actually has a cash of 10,000 crore. I think the significant concern from the investor perspective is there is no visibility on the future business, and therefore probably there is no growth which they perceive in this company. Ideally, at least the investors should have valued it equivalent to the cash sitting in the company. They are not even valuing to that effect because there might be some extraction cost if the cash were to be extracted out of the company. So this is an exception where you say that someone actually did a kind of a slump sale or a restructuring, but actually the value has not been accretive for the shareholders, has actually been a value dilutive. Going on to the next example, which was in the case of Gwalior Chemicals, they sold off their chemical business to Lanxess, Germany. That transaction was done for almost like 400 crores, whereas, and I think the entire cash is still sitting in the company. But if you were to look at it from a market cap perspective, I think the market cap is even sub 100 crores. Again, the worry from an investor perspective, there is no core business in the company. They have just announced of getting into some newer businesses like renewable energy, power and all of that. But again, there is no visibility from an investor perspective. Just going one step further, and again, this is a recent transaction which happened last year. If you were to look at it from an Indo-Asian Fusecare, which is a Delhi-based listed company, they sold their switchgear business to Legrand of France. And this transaction was done for almost like 600 crores. Whereas if you were to again look at it from a market cap perspective, it's almost something like 120 crores. So whilst in last three instances they have divested a significant business, I think the worry from an investor perspective is really there is no core business which is there. There is no focused business which is there. And really they are unsure in terms of how the cash would be utilized from a business perspective. So just to sum it up, I think restructurings are only an enabler to value unlocking. I think at the end you would really need businesses to support it. Restructuring can only be a means to an end, but not necessarily an end. You would need businesses to support the restructuring. Yeah. Thank you.